What's going on, SML? It is SML Countdown. I know we've been advertising this on Twitter and chat. Straw with that amazing intro. AJ with the logo. What's going on, guys? I'm so excited.
What's up? Yeah, happy to be here. Ready for this countdown, man. Been waiting for this one.
Let's go.
All right, AJ's audio works, so we're good. So we'll go around. We'll go ahead and we'll go around the league right now. See who's kind of doing what as far as the playoff race goes. And without any further ado, we'll start in the AFC North. Dan sitting at 9-0. You got Dump, really the only other challenger there at 7-2. But we just saw him lose to RD right before we started recording. Does anybody think this isn't Dan's division?
Well, there's still, I think Dan still has to play Dump twice. So the division's technically still wide open. I think the likelihood of Dan going undefeated is not very high. On this Madden, as inconsistent as I've seen every game be played. So.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Like sometimes you just go in a game and it seems like nothing works out. Dan has been able to go in and really win, but I think someone pointed out who he's played, and maybe we'll see something there. Maybe we'll see him lose some games, and we'll see how this ends up. Still a lot of games to be played.
There are, but I'm looking at the in-game standings right now. Dan is he's 10 points ahead of Dump, 309 to 299. But the real difference is in defense. Points allowed. Dump, 225 points allowed. You want to guess how many Dan's allowed?
I don't have to guess because I'm looking at it.
Oh, yeah. Less than half, 105. Dump is the next closest, and he's doubled him.
Dan's got something figured out on defense that nobody else does.
Well, I think one of those things is play the computer when you have a good opponent. I think Faz had -4 yards. So it's that could have something to do with it, but that's a pretty impressive number. Moving on to the AFC South, you've got Prime, you've got Faz on vacation, RD making a push late. I think this is going to be Prime's division, though. I think so far 2 for 2 on divisions where it's just kind of a runaway.
Yeah, that one's looking like a runaway. I do think RD has a chance, to pull back in, get a wild card spot. But yeah, that's Prime's division.
Yeah. AFC East. Let's talk about the AFC East in a minute. We'll go AFC West. You've got QP at 8-1, Clink at 7-2. They've still got to play one more time. I think this is going to be QP's. I think he's going to figure it out. He did lose to KJ though, which you don't see very often. But 309 points scored, 211 against. He's still blowing people out. I think maybe that was just took KJ lightly, and I don't think you can do that with anybody in this Madden. All right.
No, I agree. I think it's Q's division as well.
Yeah.
So it's probably one of the few guys I've played so far where I felt like just I had no chance whatsoever to stop him offensively. So.
All right. So we'll move on to the AFC East. Who do you think's going to win this division? They're all awful. Fig's the only one at 500 right now. Do we have even a prediction for who wins this, or do they all just kind of bow out?
You know what? I don't think anyone wants to win this division. When you look at it and you look at the stats and you look at how they all been playing, I mean, Fig 5-5, Bean 4-6, Dolphins at 4-5, Jets at 3-6. I mean, even when you go and look at all their stats, it's all pretty much the same. They're all really struggling. I'm gonna make a bold prediction here, man. I think KJ is gonna come away and win this division.
All right, so Faz has actually said that on his show not too long ago that he predicts KJ is gonna win a division title. You're saying it's gonna be this season?
Yeah, I think he's winning the division. I'm gonna talk a little bit more about KJ later on in the show, so I won't spoil anything now. But I got my eye on KJ.
I could see it. I mean, this is also the only division so far that we've gone through that not a single team has scored more than they've given up. So they're all on the negative side of those points allowed.
It's an interesting stat there with the Finns having the least points forwarded with probably the most explosive offense in the game.
Moving on to the NFC North. So I'm sitting at 8-2, and then Paulie at 5-4. I play him right after we're done with this. AJ kind of disappointing there at 4-6. Not gonna lie, I expected better. But Coop saved you because he's even more disappointing. Is it at 0-9 with the Packers? This division looks like it's probably going to be just about over as well.
Yep, I think you got that one wrapped up, Bomber. Fighting for a wild card spot at this point.
All right, well, NFC South. Here's another one. Like so far, I think other than the AFC East, they're all pretty much a one-team race right now. So far, NFC South 7-3 Falcons, doink. But we just saw him get blown out by Monty. But then you got D-Muse, the next team at 5-5. He's already said he's going to miss 3 games probably with a vacation. And then we don't even need to talk about Noel and Gilbert, a combined 2-16. So another division that I think is just about locked up.
Yeah, these divisions are a runaway. I mean, we there's a clear favorite.
Yeah. So NFC East though, no real clear favorite here other than not Colt. So Colt's sitting at 3-7. He's about done. But you got the Eagles 4-5, the Cowboys 5-4, Giants 6-4. Giants and Cowboys split their season series, and there's a little bit of fireworks there that we'll talk about in a little bit. But this one of the divisions, I don't think that's a clear favorite. I would have thought Meats would probably run away with it, but it looks like right now Tiny and Woods are kind of keeping it close at least till mid-season.
Yeah, a lot of good battles there, and like you said, we'll be able to talk about them a little bit later and dive into that division.
All right, and then the last division. This is your division. Matt's sitting at 8-1. You're right behind him at 6-3 with the Rams, which that may be one of the worst rosters in the game. And then you made it worse by sitting Stafford and going with Stetson Bennett, and somehow he's still sitting at 6-3. Cardinals and 49ers are in the division, but that doesn't really matter. I think this is a 2-team race between you and Matt, and you still have one game left against him. So I think this one's going to come down to the wire.
Yeah, and that game is actually happening tonight. So
that's right. You guys are up next too. All right. So looking at the AFC and NFC standings, I think you got the 1 seed Steelers. 2 is the Colts and Chargers. They'll be 2-3. Chiefs, they'll be the 5 seed. Bengals will be 6. Jaguars probably 7. I don't even know. You got to go all the way down to the Bills at 5-5. They'll be the 4 seed. Whoever wins that division. A lot of teams really still in it because you're talking about teams with 5 losses being just 1 game out. So AFC, lots to look at there. NFC, Seahawks, Bears, Falcons, and Giants right now are the top 4, and then you got Rams, Cowboys, Lions. And then a couple 5-loss and 6-loss teams behind them. So I think the playoffs are going to really shape up to be a good race, especially towards the end. Who knows with these force wins and people leaving.
Yeah, absolutely. I think my dark horses that are in the hunt and see what they do. For the AFC, I'll say, watch out for the Texans, obviously. RD, see what he can do, and if he can squeeze a spot in there. And I'm still watching AJ. See what he does there, and if he could find a way to squeeze his way in there.
I mean, he said he's not going anywhere till after December, so that means that he's at least going to play his games, and that's a leg up on half of the damn NFC already. All right, so we went over the division leaders, the playoff picture. One thing that stood out was that AFC East. You got Fig in there, the only one at 500. He's the leader in there. Is there a worse division?
I don't think so.
Now, what about you, AJ? Anybody worse?
I'm filtering through them right now. I'm not. I mean, currently no.
Do you think this cycle there'll be anyone worse, or is this just that's the Weenie Hut Jr. division, as NYT likes to call it?
Yeah, we'll call it that, I guess. Mainly because 3 of those teams are stacked, completely stacked.
Yeah.
So you got good quarterback play for the most part. I mean, Tua's kind of middle of the road, but
Tua's not even on that Dolphins team anymore.
He's got Mike White.
Oh, that's
Mike
true.
White.
That's
Mike
true.
White throwing the ball.
Yep. Which
Mike
could be why he's
White.
the lowest scoring team in that division.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's not
so.
working.
He's probably got a plan though. Fins has got a plan. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I think the plan's not working. He's the second place team in that division.
Yeah,
The only
plan's
plan I
not
see
working.
was lose and get a quarterback, and it's not happening.
Yeah. That's what it's looking like right now,
Yeah.
and this is why I really think KJ could turn it on here, man. I think Bills they're struggling with Josh Allen throwing a lot of interceptions, Pats are struggling. They're also struggling to pass the ball. And Dolphins, Mike White is just not working. When I watch them all play, KJ's the one that kind of feels like he's standing out right now, and he's only 2 games behind the Bills right now. So this is anybody's division. I think it's gonna turn into like who doesn't want to lose or who wants to, you know, not lose the most.
Yeah, who's not the best at tanking or losing?
Right.
So you talked about KJ though. KJ's beaten QP and Fig, or QP and Gutta. He's only got 3 wins, and 2 of them were against the AFC West. So maybe we shouldn't be calling the AFC East the worst division when KJ's over there beating the top guys over there. What do you think about that though? Is KJ for real, or is it just bad luck on their part?
What I'll say, I went and looked at his games. The first win that he had was against Fig and the Bills, week 1. He started off with a win. From there, week 1 through 8, he didn't put up his first game. He put up 24 points. After that, he never put up more than 21 points. His offense was really slacking, and he was getting slacked. Teams were putting up 35, 31, 29. He lost to the Bills, Cowboys, Pats, Chiefs, Broncos, Eagles, Giants. Just recently, back-to-back weeks, something turned on. He put up 44 points against QP, winning in overtime, 44-38, where he had 317 passing yards, 37 more than QP. He won the turnover battle, +2, 6 third down conversions, and completely dominated time of possession with 15 minutes. That means he was putting together drives, driving down the field, working, he really did something there. And then came back against the Raiders where he held Gouda to 7 points, put up 30 points. He outplayed him in total yards, 352 to 191, +3 in the turnovers, dominated time of possession. I think KJ has figured something out. He went through a long stretch of losing, and now he's kind of turned it on 2 weeks in a row. I think he might have out.
Yeah, I mean, the only stat in there that makes any sense is dominated time of possession, because KJ is the slowest play caller. Although Gilbert is closing in. I've played Gilbert, and there's been delay of game penalties because he's just sitting there taking his time or talking in chat. But that's the only stat that makes sense. How the hell does KJ score 44 points when he only gets like 3 drives a game? I mean, he's definitely figured something out, and something's going different. And so we'll see if he can take that AFC East, like you said. This could be his year.
Yeah.
Somebody I thought it may. What's that?
Did either of you watch the game in the Chargers game?
I saw part of it. I didn't see the ending, which sounds like that was the best part. But
yeah.
But a game I did see, or at least till I turned it off, was Monty blowing out Doink. Doink coming in, I think he had 2 losses. Looked like he was just going to run away with the NFC. I mean, he was looking good with the Falcons, and then Monty comes in with the Cardinals and blows him out. Is Monty for real, or was Doink playing bad? What do you guys think? I watched it, and it looked like Doink was just lobbing it up to Pitts and Drake London, and he just was getting stopped. What do you guys think about Doink and Monty, if one of them's for real and one's not?
I think they're both very similar, honestly. If this man's taught me anything, it's game to game. It's so inconsistent to what you can expect on both sides of the ball. Bet you if those guys played 10 times, you wouldn't have another blowout. It's one of those things that, sometimes when it rains, it pours, and then it gets in your head mentally, and then you just start hunking the ball up in the air, and
definitely look
snowballs.
Like that.
Yep. We've all been there.
All right, so one of the other things going on in chat that's been pretty interesting. We talked about the AFC East, one of the only close divisions, but they're kind of quiet. You don't really hear anything from the AFC East. KJ beats QP and Gutta, and he immediately talks about how it was luck and it wasn't him. And they basically do anything to deflect from any success they have. But on the other side of the ball, we have the NFC East, and I'm going to pull up some of these screenshots and different things that Meats has created. There's definitely a rivalry in that NFC East, and I'm loving it. What do you guys think about this rivalry in the NFC East?
Man, they are really chirpy and chippy in the NFC East. I mean, before the game, they're throwing shots. After the game, they're throwing shots. I think in it's fun because they're all right there. I mean, besides Washington, the Giants, Cowboys, and Eagles are all right there, battling, same stats, almost same record, and they're really coming at each other. It's been fun to see. It's gonna be interesting who walks away with bragging rights at the end of this because they're all right there. Um, I was looking. I think Eagles have the easiest schedule moving forward. They only play one more playoff team in the Seahawks. Both the Cowboys and Giants play two playoff teams currently. So we'll see how this thing wraps up.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Is anybody surprised that it's Meats that's kind of been in both of the little interactions that we're seeing in chat? He's kind of gone at Woods, and then him and Tiny got at it. Um, anybody surprised by it being Meats and not Tiny that's instigating all these things?
Yeah, I'd say when I saw it and I saw it popping up, Meats was also, I mean, mastermind, like you said, behind it. He came up with this graphic. I mean, he said ahead of time, like, I'm about to stir things up, and then he put that graphic out. And now, Tiny's taking shots at him. I do think it's surprising. I think it's surprising that it's coming from Meats, but it's made it a lot of fun for all of us to watch.
Yeah, I kind of wish all the divisions were like this. AJ, you suck.
Yeah. So Meat's kind of he always gets posed as the villain, and now he's kind of leaning into it.
Yeah.
So honestly, I think it's good for the division. It's good for the league because Tiny's one of those guys too that it's not afraid to kind of fire back. So we should see some interesting things in chat moving forward.
No, I mean, who was going to watch a Tiny versus Meats game before this? I mean, it adds a little bit of interest to it that may not have been there on its own.
Yeah.
So while we're on the topic of NFC East, though, Tiny or not Tiny, but Meats made a trade to get Trey Lance. What are your thoughts on that trade? I was kind of surprised, being that he's got Dak and Trey Lance is 23, normal dev, not really anything great about him. What do you guys think about that trade?
I guess Meats is seems to be kind of worried about the Cowboys cap, trying to keep players, but from my experience, I would be hanging on to the quarterback.
Yeah.
Versus some of those other stars.
Oh, we might have lost AJ's voice again. AJ has a bit of laryngitis or something. So, Straw, you're a team that needs a quarterback while we wait on AJ to get his stuff back.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
All right.
So, what were your thoughts when you saw that trade? And did he even ask you if you want him? I mean, I know it was interdivision, but God, you're rolling with Stetson Bennett.
Yeah, no, I haven't. Anyone who had an additional quarterback never came and said anything to me. So I didn't even know Trey Lance was an option to go and get. When I saw it, I was like, oh man, that would have been great. I should have done that. For Meats, I thought it was interesting. I'm like, who wins that trade? A fourth round pick for Trey Lance? I mean, both the
First.
options.
That was.
Did he give a first?
Yeah, I believe Meats gave a first for it. Fourth was in the actual trade in the NFL. But I'm pretty sure, I'm going to pull it up just to make sure, but I'm pretty sure Meats gave up a first-round pick. Yeah. Trey Lance, first-round pick from the Cowboys.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, yeah, I think I might have been confusing it with real life.
Yeah.
Real life, the value was a fourth-round pick. He gave a first. I mean,
Yeah.
It has to be some cap situation or something for why he would do that because he's still rolling with Dak. I think I saw that he maybe did a couple of run packages with Trey Lance. I see Trey Lance has 6 attempts and a touchdown, but he has 0 yards. So not really sure
Yeah.
what's
2-yard
going on
run
over
and
there,
then 2 knees or something.
right. But definitely very confused with that. I think it's an awful trade for Meats. I think 49ers win that trade, and I think that's an awful trade by Meats.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go to I guess we'll do I forgot to add this in, but we'll show our we'll do our pick'em for this week. So we've got 5 games. If we do this show weekly, then we should have 3 weeks in between shows. So we've got at least one from each week. I think I got one from week 11, 2 from week 12, and 2 from week 13. So the first game up is Arizona and Monty versus RD. We just saw both guys coming off a big win. Who do you guys have in this one? Straw?
I'm taking RD in Houston. I think that RD, he knows how to light it up. I know he's been gone for a little bit, but when he's back and he's on, he's tough. And so I think he's gonna come in and win this game.
Yeah, absolutely. AJ, who do you got?
I'm also going with RD and the Texans. I think RD's capable of some things offensively that a lot of others in this league are not, and I think that's going to put him over the top.
Yeah, I think I'm going to come in and make it a clean sweep, and I'm going to go with the Texans as well. Um, I mean, did you see what he just did to Dump? I think there's a big difference between the Bengals and the Cardinals, and I think RD's going to come away with this one pretty easily. So then the next game is going to be D-Muse and the Saints against the Falcons and Doink. This one, I think Doink has a 2-game lead or 3-game lead in the division. D-Muse, he's got 3 games. He said he's probably going to give away force wins, so he's going to need this one. Does D-Muse get this one, AJ?
I actually went with Doink. He's coming off a big blowout. I think he's going to be locked in and ready to go. I think he's got the better team right now. He's lucked up with some dev games and during training and all that nonsense. So I think he's gonna come up with a win on this one.
All right. I also think Doink is going to come away with the win. I think he's playing better right now. I played D-Muse and his defense was rough. So I think I'm going to have to lean Doink here too. What about you, Straw?
D Muse, he needs this win. Like you said, he really needs this win. He's gonna miss a couple games, and he has to get this win to stay close. And so with that, I say Doink takes this. He comes and he beats them, and that's gonna be it. Seal his fate.
Yeah, I don't see it. I mean, he's not playing well, and that team, Derek Carr was bad. I played against. He missed a couple big throws. All right, so that means another game that we've got. This should be a really good one. I thought before we just watched what RD did to him, but we've got Pitt and Dan against the Bengals and Dump, and I initially had Dump as my pick, but after watching that game against RD, I switched it to the Steelers. I'm going with Dan and the Steelers. I think he's going to continue to be undefeated. Now, he does play prime at some point, and I think that's where maybe he loses. But for now, I've got him beating Dump. What about you, Straw?
So I love this matchup. I think this is gonna be a great game, and I think Dan is gonna get taken down in this one.
Ooh.
I got Bengals winning it, and I think it's gonna be a great game to watch. I think, like we said, it's gonna be one of those games where I think things just aren't gonna go Dan's way, and we'll see Dump get the win.
All right, AJ, tiebreaker here.
All right, so I'm gonna go with the undefeated team because he's giving me no reason not to. I think he'll force some turnovers against Dump and maybe put Dump a little bit behind the 8 ball and get the win.
All right. So our last 2 games, they're going to come from Week 13. We've got the Seahawks against the Cowboys. I know you've got to be rooting against the Seahawks in this one, Straw. Who do you have winning, though?
Oh yeah, you guys know that's an easy one for me. I got Meats winning. I got my boy Meats. I need the Seahawks to lose this one, so I think I'm also hoping. But I think this is also going to be a good game. It'll be fun to watch, and I think Meats is going to pull this one out. Maybe
All
we
right.
see some packages from Trey Lance.
There you go. AJ?
I'm gonna go with the lowly Seahawks and Matt. I'm not buying his propaganda. I think he's got things figured out for the most part. He's be able to bottle up Meat's offense, force some turnovers, get the win.
Yeah, so as the tiebreaker, I'm going to go with Matt, too. I'm not buying I'm bad. He wins the Super Bowl. I'm bad. He's 8-1. He's the number 1 seed in the NFC. I'm bad. I don't think anybody's buying it. I've got Seahawks winning this one until I see him prove otherwise by actually backing up that talk that he's bad. Because right now he just keeps winning. All right, and then our last game, this one was a struggle to find one, but I'm going to go with Fins in Miami against Colt in Washington. This one, I took the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins and Fins. I know he's got Mike White, and that's tough to get that offense going. I don't care how many superstar receivers you have and speed everywhere, but I think he's going to figure it out. He played Colt quite a bit last year. He was the Bengals. Colt was the Steelers. So I think I'm going to lean with him, being familiar with him. He's got the better team. I think he's gonna pull out the win in this one. AJ?
I got the Commanders winning this one. I think that D line's going to give Finn some issues with Mike White throwing the ball. Maybe force some errant passes, bottle up that run. As we've seen, Finn's has got one of the lowest points forwarded in the league. So I think that Commanders defense may give him issues.
Yeah, I could see that. I just think his offense is going to be so bad that it's not going to matter. All right, but now we're going to head over to our top plays. We've each selected one top play. The viewers can vote in the comments which one of us selected the correct top play, but I'm going to play them in order. And the top play that I picked was Prime playing against two-step and Anthony Richardson rolling out to the right. He's sprinting away from the defenders, throws on the run, and Downs comes down with it, breaks a tackle, and then he breaks another tackle to get into the end zone. And to me, that was the top play. Straw, what's your top play?
Yeah, so I got a play from AJ. It's 3rd and 7 to seal the game. He throws it in the middle in traffic to Justin Jefferson, goes up with one hand and catches it while getting hit to seal the game. This was right after he got a pick from D Muse on the Saints, and D Muse was trying to get the ball back. And this is what AJ was able to do to seal the game. This was my top play of the game. You don't even see that animation. I got Cooper Kupp, and I never see that animation. That's just Justin Jefferson right there. I thought it was amazing.
All right, AJ. So he picked your play as play of the week. I don't even know if you want to reveal one or just go ahead and agree with him. But what was your top play?
I'm giving it to QP. I'm giving the running back some love. Austin Eckler with, 16 jukes and a spin move on the play. Almost jukes back into a tackle, but ends up getting the touchdown. Really impressive stick skills there. Actually, he didn't score.
Now he gets stopped short.
He should have.
Yep.
The game should have given it to him. Look at him. He ran out of stamina there at the end of.
Yeah, you can see he runs out, and then everybody catches up, and here come the chicken wings. They're trying to punch it out.
That looked like Brees Hall on Monday night.
I did. Yeah. All right, so that's our top plays. We've got one last segment, and this is the last straw. Straw, what do you want to talk about here?
All right, so thanks for introducing the last straw. This is where I'm going to come and pick a user and talk about the good, the bad, or the great, and what I see from their play. And so I want to talk about KJ. You guys heard me talking about KJ a lot. You guys heard me saying I think he's going to win the division. And this was after his last game against Gouda. He came in and said he really doesn't know anything. He just presses buttons and jukes around and hope things work. But I don't think that's the case. And so I'm here to tell y'all KJ got game. And I want you guys to see exactly what I see so that you guys can see that KJ is lying and he's full of it. So if we go to the first play here, you guys will see KJ's got a slant route here. So he drops back and he's watching that user and he throws it behind the user, right? To make sure that he completed that pass. That takes some skill, right? To be able to look at that and read that and throw that play. And so then if we go to the second play, the play that comes up right after this, KJ is sitting and he's reading the defense and he audibles to a slant route. He just did a slant route earlier in the game, so he does another slant route. Gouda's expecting that early throw. He waits and throws it after to be able to complete that pass. That is something where KJ's reading the defense. He worked around to understand what Gouda was going to do, and he worked to find the right play and the right route to get the first down. So now if we go to the third play here, now we get to see him a little bit on defense. He audibles to get into the right defense, uses his sub linebacker, fakes off of one and runs back to be able to stop Devontae Adams for that catch in the middle. That's not a player who doesn't know what he's doing. That's a player who knows what he's doing. He's using great user skills, and he is playing at a high level right now. Don't let him fool you. Don't let him lie saying he doesn't know what he's doing. So now let's go to the next play. This is against QP. He's got the game in overtime. It's 3rd and 7. And what does he call? He calls a shot. He calls a shot, and he's throwing it deep to Mecole Hardman on the left-hand side. A perfect throw. Boom. In overtime. That takes balls to throw that right there on 3rd and 7. And so for the final play, right after he threw that, it's 2nd and 8. he's almost shitting himself right now. He's trying to figure out what he wants to do. He goes to a pass play on the side with X Factor Derwin James. He doesn't even throw it to his best receiver here. He throws it again to Mecole Hardman, finds him in the corner of the end zone for a touchdown to win the game. Walk-off touchdown. That is game. KJ got game. Don't let him fool y'all. KJ is out here throwing dots. And so that's my segment of the last straw. KJ got game. I think he's lying to everybody. He's trying to fool everybody, but I got him winning this division.
Yeah, I think you showed it there that there's definitely more than just I load up, I press the buttons, and we just see what happens. It looked like there's a little bit of thought goes into it at least, and definitely a big old set of brass balls throwing that shot to Mecole Hardman on 3rd and 7. But I guess with Aaron Rodgers, you can do some things like that.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that's been it for SML Countdown. We're right at just over the 30-minute mark. Appreciate you guys watching, and like I said, vote on those top plays. And thanks for being on, guys. I think this is gonna be a good thing.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Sir.
All right.